Olá, bem-vindos novamente aqui a mais um Nenom podcast, professor Gunther Rudzer, professor aqui de Relações Internacionais da SPM, coordenador do curso de Relações aqui do Nenom, que é idade, né? É fogo. Bom, vamos lá, estamos aqui com uma convidada internacional, vou deixar para as meninas aqui apresentarem e por isso mesmo, a partir desse momento, a linguagem oficial vai mudar. Deixamos o português e passamos para o inglês, afinal de contas, é um curso de relações internacionais. Ok? From this moment on, we're switching to English. I prepared some few words because, as you just noticed, I tend to forget a little bit of things. I'm getting too old. Marzieh, it's a great pleasure and an honor to welcome you here, not just to Nenom, but to SPM. Before anything else, I should confess that I have a small personal connection with your story. I practiced Taekwondo for 10 years. So I know that Taekwondo teaches much more than how just to fight. It teaches discipline, resilience, self-control, and perhaps above all, the courage to stand your ground. Of course, what you faced goes far beyond anything we normally experience in a dojo. Your story is about sport, but it's also about freedom, women's rights, exile, and the courage to speak when remaining silent will certainly be easier and safer. That is why we are especially happy to have you here today. Thank you for accepting our invitations and for sharing your experience with us and for giving us the opportunity to listen and learn from your stories. Marzieh, welcome to Nenom. The floor and the microphone are yours. And from now on, as I said, the girls, they command everything. Mariana, please.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Marzieh. So we're starting another episode here on a Nenom podcast. Today we have a very special guest. So she's a Taekwondo athlete born in Iran, yet growing up in Afghanistan too, pursuing her treatment on the sport on professional levels as well. With the impact of the Taliban return in 2021, Marzieh was forced to flee and rebuild her life in France, as well as her professional routine. Nowadays, she is seen as an international voice for women's rights, denouncing repression in Afghanistan on essential institutions such as the UN, UNESCO, the National Assembly, and many others. Welcome to SPM. We are glad to have you here. I'm sure this conversation will open many eyes and minds on what is happening to our world right now. So,
hi everybody. Thank you for having me. It's an honor and pleasure to be here and to share this podcast with young girls my age, and it gives me more energy and hope to raise my voice, and I'm happy to see that I'm surrounded by people that they have the same age as me.
We are very thankful.
Thank you.
So our first question here is, before engaging who you are right now between activism and your sport, we would like to know, how was your childhood? What was your perception of both countries you live in, Iran and Afghanistan, and what were your dreams as a child?
Well, I was born and raised in Iran. So, as you know, Iran is a difficult country for young girls, for women. And I had a good childhood because I had a good friends, good family. But I grew up with a lot of fear because of the government. Because since you're a child and teenager, they always want to remind you that they control everything about you, your body, the way you want to live, and the decision that you make in your life, everything is under control of the regime. So the childhood was good, but I was very curious about everything, about why we are in this situation, why the government is like this, why they are teaching us things that is against women's rights, and they want us to live by their law. So it was very challenging, and I was feeling oppressed by the government. But when I moved to Afghanistan in 2020, and I went also when I was 12, but I came back to Iran, Afghanistan was worse because it's not a safe society at all, and the society is really against women, is against girls, and I just realized that there are so many young girls in other cities, in small villages, they cannot go to school. And it was before the Taliban, because for them it was a shame if their daughter or sister leave the house and go to school, and they had this ideology that you are a girl, you should stay home and then get married and give birth. So this is the reality of young girls in Afghanistan, and now it's worse because the Taliban are in power and they are controlling everything, and they banned women from their basic rights. So I grew up between two conflicts, and it was difficult for me, my teenage time and childhood, because of the politics over there. But I'm happy that I found myself and I didn't let all of these, I don't know how to say, the ideology of the government break me down.
So thinking about this critical moment, do you think that this sport, the Taekwondo, helped you with this? How is this sport so important in your life?
For example, when you're in a society that's to be a woman is like, okay, you have to look pretty, you have to, look nice, and to be very polite, quiet, just to get married and, to have kids. Taekwondo gave me this power that I am more than all of this, more than the standard of the society that is describing what is femininity. And for me, Taekwondo was a way to feel powerful and confident with myself, and it helped me to show that we are more than what the society is telling us, and we can be fighter and we can do combat sport, because they believe that Taekwondo, martial arts in general, it's a male sport. So by doing this, I wanted to show that sport is a sport and it's for everyone, and it's much better for women. We are more stronger. So it played a big role in my life, and it helped me a lot to feel powerful and to be confident and to fight against all of this ideology through my kicks.
Thank you.
So when you feel like this, you feel more powerful. Do you think that these women who occupy male spaces that was considered like male spaces, do you think they can also become a way of protecting the freedoms that you are sure for yourself, like the freedom that you want for your life?
Women?
Yeah.
Well, I believe that women should be in everywhere, because if you look at the history, and still now, we don't really have the gender equality that everybody's talking about it. They give a little bit to women and they're like, okay, now there is gender equality, but it's not like that, especially in sports. Still now we have, a lot of problem, and they don't treat the same female athletes that they are treating male athletes. But I think each one of us, if he becomes successful and to be visible in different aspects of lives, in sport, in art, in whatever that we can call it, if we are visible and we are doing a great job, we are opening doors for other girls. And we are showing the power of women, power of young girls, and we are breaking the taboos in the society. So I believe that each success is a big opportunity for other girls, for other women to be more visible and to be more active in society.
And also in this line, having experienced restrictions in such a young age and as a girl, do you think you became more aware of how quickly these freedoms can disappear nowadays?
Yes, because, for example, I mean, in Iran, by the law, we didn't have the right to be free. But when I went to Afghanistan, by the law, we had the freedom. You know, like I could be part of national team without wearing a hijab, for example. You know, we had this kind of democracy that they wanted to bring in Afghanistan, but they couldn't. So, for example, when I was in Kabul, I was training with national team. I was part of the team. Even I was going out, I was not wearing hijab, but I had to face the society because they were extreme, most of people, and they were not happy to see, young girls, they are not wearing hijab. So for them, it was something too much. But when I woke up one day and I saw Taliban down the street, I was like, okay, nothing is guaranteed. I can lose my freedom like in a second, and this happened, and we lost everything just in a few hours, and nothing is guaranteed. So yeah, I think that we should, all of us, fight, because if we think that we are in a best life, everything is equal, we have everything as a woman, no, this is not true. I feel like we are going more backwards right now, especially when I look at the world, not only Iran, Afghanistan, other countries also, even US, the ideology that is spreading for the woman, that they should be housewife, like things that generations before us have fought for that. I feel people are going backwards, so I think we should not take granted of what we have, and we have to keep fighting and, keep showing to the men in the society that they cannot control us.
So you did rebuild your life after you went through all of this, and I think you have gone through a shock of reality of culture, and I would like you to talk about when you moved to France. How was to see that the world was not always something bad, that had people that wish for you good things. You didn't have to be a girl being married to a man when you're in such a young age. You could have a good life and a freedom, and now you have this freedom. How was it to rebuild your life in France? I would like to know.
First of all, I want to say that I don't really have my freedom in France right now because I live under police protection. Mm-hmm. But for example, when I came to Paris from Kabul, the first thing that was I can say too much information for my brain to accept it was to see that, imagine I'm in Kabul, I see Taliban, you cannot see women in the street, and then I come to Paris, everything is normal. Everybody's having a normal life. Women are going to the work, they are free, even me too, I feel like I can be myself. But that started breaking my heart because I said, the girls back home, they deserve also freedom, safety, and to be respected. So it was very challenging because it's not the same culture. I didn't have friends. I knew some people, but they were not really my friends, And I had to adopt new culture, new language, because we are so different, Europeans, especially French, compared to my people. We are more warm, we are very welcome, we are very friendly. It's not the same. So I suffer a lot to adopt. I was ready, I was open, to make friends for everything, but it was very difficult because for them it was oh, poor girl, she came from, she left the Taliban. I like solidarity and sympathy, but I don't like the pity, I don't like that. So it was a bit hard for me to accept that because I really grew up different, and for me it was too much to see what they think about us and how they think about us, their imagination about us. So it was very difficult, and it took me 1 year to just say to myself, okay, Marzieh, you are in Paris, you have to continue your life. Even though when I arrived, I started training very quickly, I was feeling I have to do things. I feel I lost so many times when I was in Kabul with Taliban. But it is difficult, and still is difficult because I miss home a lot. I miss Iran, I miss Afghanistan, and when I see day by day the situation is getting worse, and the country, the Europe that I'm living, they are very silent about the situation of Afghanistan and Iranian women. So for me, it's something that is heartbreaking, and I don't know like what will happen, what is the next for them, because I care about the situation over there. I am one of them. Because of the Taliban, I'm in exile right now. So for me, it is still difficult, to be honest, to continue life. And I have this feeling of guilt most of the time that what is the difference between me and other young girls in Afghanistan, you know, because they are talented, they are smart, they are brave. They have shown to the world that they are brave to fight back against their oppressors, and the world is still silent about it. So I think of them and I keep fighting for them. So I cannot say that I'm very happy in France. I am grateful about things that I have achieved, but everything that I'm doing, it's for them.
And now the question goes
Yeah.
to me here. When did you decide that your personal experience could develop to be an international voice for what is happening in Afghanistan? And how do you deal with perhaps fear of perhaps being persecuted or someone speaking out or trying to harm you?
Well, I think it was something inside me, you know. I felt like, okay, this is not normal, and I was seeing injustice with my eyes. And all of this was uncomfortable, and I was feeling like, okay, I need to take some actions, and it was something natural from my heart came out, and I felt like I have to fight back against the Taliban, and I have to speak about the situation. This is the only thing I can do. I don't have more than that power. So I think it was more the sense of humanity that I have made me to fight. And the second question?
I was talking about the fear of perhaps being persecuted, and I know there are some situations with victims in exile where perhaps something bad can happen. Sometimes people can threaten them, and I know you have your family, so sometimes I think that's a situation that it's complicated, and I'd like to know how you can balance that.
Well, personally, like, it's been almost 2 years. I live under police protection in Paris, and I'm supposed to be free and safe there. If I want to walk in the street, I have to be with 2 cops. You know, it's exhausting, the situation. Like, I'm grateful that the French government is protecting me, but this is not normal that in Europe, in Paris, I have to live this. So it's very dangerous, it's risky, because I face so many threats. Like, I received 10,000 messages and calls, death and rape threats, and they were sending me videos of themselves masturbating and saying that how they would rape me, and they were sending the photos of their penis. They attacked my privacy, you know, they attacked my privacy, and they threatened me, and still they continue. So it is difficult, but I feel like when you are doing a fight like this, you have to choose your suffering. Yes. And I choose my suffering, and I stood up against them. That was the consequences of that, but I'm not guilty about it. I'm proud, but of course the fear is there. I feel afraid, I'm sad because I cannot be free like before. I'm not safe. There is feelings, there is time when I go to the bed, I cry, or I ask myself what happened. You know, I ask myself what happened. So it's scary, but I feel now I'm just like, okay, how I should survive day by day, you know, by the threats, by the lack of support, by my own emotions, you know, the feelings that I have about myself and things that happen around me. It's just that I think you become a fighter, so you just keep fighting.
Yes. So I have the next question that is about one of your speeches. Do you ever feel that Iranian and Afghan women are portrayed internationally mainly as victims rather than people with the power to create change?
That's the problem. They always show us as victims. They don't show how girls over there are brave. They are super brave. I mean, I have seen with my eyes how they were protesting against Taliban in the street. I was with them. They were not afraid. Like, I remember one time that one of the Taliban, he started beating a woman in front of me. She didn't move. She was like shouting on him. And I was feeling the pain because when he was beating her, and I have the video when I filmed that because I start filming, But I started running and I was shocked at how she's so brave. Still, I think of her. I remember her face. That sense, I remember everything. And in Iran is the same. For us, feminism is not a slogan. For us, either is you die or you liberate yourself. And my people, women over there, they died for that, and they are still fighting, and they are not afraid of the Taliban or the Islamic regime. So I think we already showed to the world that we are very strong and we are not afraid of anybody. But it's the media of the West. They love to show you victim, poor girls. They don't want to show that the real reality of girls, because maybe it's for them it's also too much something impossible, how they can be so brave to stand against a regime like Islamic Republic that is threatening the world, that I will attack you. They are standing against a regime like this. And girls in Afghanistan, they are standing against a regime that is killing women every day. They don't believe women should exist. They just see them as a housewife to give birth and to use them. That's it. So fighting against them demands courage, and they have a lot. But it's the West media. They like to show that they are victims, and they want to show that they need us. They don't need anybody. We just want. You should stop shaking hands with our oppressors. That's it. Because my people, they know how to bring a change. We have thousands of years of history. We know how to deal with the oppressors. But we want you to stop being hypocrite and shake hands with our oppressors. And I believe that the future of Iran and Afghanistan is in hands of women, because they are paying the high price for their freedom. And they are the future, and we don't need anybody help. We just want them to stop pretending that they care about us and stop shaking hands and legitimizing our oppressors.
Yeah. So, having lived through this experience yourself, what do you think of the international community mostly misunderstood about the Middle East and all these conflicts that are happening, not in a geopolitical sense, but in a society way, such as there are men that are going to be helping women with these movements. Are people how can people can organize themselves to help bring that change?
In Middle East?
In Middle East, mainly Iran and Afghanistan.
Well, that area is a very complicated area, because we have so many different ethnies and religion, different religion people that are living there. But about Iran and Afghanistan, I feel it's more that we need the regime to be gone. Because if the regime remains in power, there will never be a peace and a safe and free country for anybody. If you're like them, you can be safe and free, but if you're not like them, you will not be safe. Because imagine, it's been more than 40 years that Islamic Republic of Iran, the Islamic regime, is in power. And in the schools, they brainwash a lot. They want you to follow them and to learn things that they put in the system of education. But they failed. If you go to Iran, people are more open-minded than Western people. Because when I came to France and when I started talking with people in society and even other countries, I was like, my people are more open-minded, and they are more brave to change, and they have something that's, I couldn't see that a lot there. In West, and they know what they want. They are educated people. 80 or 70% of Iranians are educated. And Afghanistan is a bit complicated because they are too religious, and there is so many ethnic problems over there in Afghanistan, but in Iran it's not the same case. So I believe that Iranians are ready for a democracy to change the regime, but the problem is that they are foreigners that they are helping the government in Iran, and it's the same about Taliban. They invited Taliban last month in Brussels. I don't know how a terrorist can travel to Europe, because there are thousands of young girls from Afghanistan. They are waiting for a humanitarian visa, and they don't even receive an answer from embassy. But how a Talib can go through all this process of the documents, because there is a question, are you a terrorist or no, when you fill the documents. I don't know what they have wrote, yes or no. But they got there. They came to Brussels. They welcomed them very good, and they think that by shaking hands with our oppressors, they can protect their countries. But you are not protecting your country, because the Taliban is not only those who are in Afghanistan, is an ideology that is separating and is already there, because the threats that I got, it was European numbers, American numbers, Brazilian number, Asian numbers from everywhere. 10,000 is a lot. So we are ready for change. We have done so many things for that, but it's the West, by supporting our oppressors and, giving them more power to stay and kill my people.
Yes.
Marzieh, I wish we could stay here talking, because everything that you told us, there's no way that I could teach them with books, films, any other way that compares what you just shared with us. So thank you very much for sharing it with us. Your schedule is too tight here, and we have to share you with other audiences. So I have to thank you very much in the name of not only Nenom, SPM, our university here, but with everybody who will listen you, and your words will be shared here with us. I have to also, e aqui, pouco já passando para o português, agradecer PIN for Peace, Stand With Us Brasil, que foram companheiros de conseguir trazer. Muitíssimo obrigado por essa oportunidade, que com certeza vai ser um dos podcasts mais ouvidos aqui nossos. Então, once again, thank you.
Obrigada.
Hope you have a nice stay here in Brazil, safe, good back, and keep going.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ok. Bom, pessoal, ficamos aqui em mais um Nenom Podcast e esperamos vocês no nosso próximo episódio. Até lá!